Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Litecoin. Right now we're at $70.79. I'm going to go through a few key things, and guys, we're in a really tight spot right now, so you really want to have your alarm set. I'm going to show you where I'm putting my alarms and what I'm looking at in terms of the upside and the downside. So happy Friday to each and every one of you. I'm glad you're here with me today. And guys, if you like what we do here, you like these Litecoin updates, let me know down low, give me a comment, and also give me a thumbs up if you like what we do here. So we'll dig into this, my friends, and happy Friday again. All right. So what we're looking at here, guys, number one thing that I'm paying attention to is this trend line right here. Okay, so as of right now, this trend line is definitely intact. And what you're seeing is we had this drop here. We came back up right there, guys. We fell back down. And now what we're going to see is if we come back up and try to test this, and if we break out of this, I want to see a break out of that trend line on good volume. Okay, that's what we need. We can't just, do a break out of here on very low volume. Most likely we would just roll over. So we're going to have to see if this keeps acting as resistance or not. So number one, trend line, that's a big deal. I'm paying attention to that, really keeping my eye on it. All right, so that's to the downside though. That's a bearish thing. We're underneath that trend line. The other bearish thing that we're dealing with today in orange here, I have this 30 EMA up. So this is your 30-day exponential moving average. And guys, the troublesome spot here that we're seeing is all the way back to February here, early February, we have been holding this as support. As you see here, we're getting a bounce off it consistently. And now, guys, we have actually lost it. And you can see today we actually tried to wick up to it, and we got pushed back down again. And now we're kind of in that doji candle, which a doji at the bottom of a downtrend, say this was the end of the downtrend here, guys. We moved down to this area, and then we were to get good solid volume off this to get over this trend line and also up back through this 30. But right now it's not really looking that way. It's kind of, we're still having that fight between the bulls and the bears, but it's almost looking like we're seeing a little bit more rejection. Like we tried to go up and we're getting pushed back down, and now we're sitting directly on this 50 moving average, which we haven't back tested in quite a while. You see this, guys? We have not back tested it throughout this whole upper move, and that's why for a while we were looking at that and saying, we could have that test back of that 50 moving average, and that's what's happening right now. So we're going to have to see if we do hold this, but we're not having the greatest volume for this doji. Typically, if say we were to move up from here, guys, we would have pretty significant solid volume. We still have the rest of the day to go here, and we're going to have to wait for the close at 8 o'clock, but you really want to see those dojis form with big volume. All right, and then we'd look for tomorrow for follow through. You always want to wait for confirmations with the doji at the top or the bottom, whatnot. You always want to wait for confirmations, and that's what I would like to do. So say we close exactly like this day, we close up above this 50 moving average. I would wait to see what happened tomorrow, and then if we really have a nice surge of volume, you can jump in there and play a trend line break. But right now we have that overhead. We have this 30 moving average, which now you can see it curling up and is acting as overhead resistance. So we're crammed between this 30 EMA and this 50 moving average, guys. So this is a tight range, and that's why I said here's my first alarm is around that 76.21 to the upside. I'll be alerted in my second alarm. I'm going to put it in here with you. So what you do is right click, add alert, and I want to know, we'll create right there, guys. So this is where I would have my other alarm, so that if I'm away from my computer, I would know that we are having another drop, a fall down into this area. And this is where I would be looking at as support, this green area here around $61.98. That's if we lose the 50 moving average. That's where I would want to see us, find good support here, even consolidate for a while, break out through that trend line, and then we'd be heading back up to the upside. Because right now, guys, we're still in an uptrend. Don't let this scare you right now that we had this fall off, because as long as we're still up above this yellow line right here, this trend line, this intermediate term trend line, we're still okay, even if we came back and tested that. And also we want to stay up above this 200-day moving average. We would like to see good support off that if we did end up going that low. But if we lose the 50, I would be looking at this green area right there, and this will give me alarm. So if I want to, then I can start looking at this area, guys, to see if this is a potential area to buy in at. And that would be basically, we had this huge spike, and a lot of times, guys, they retrace fully all the way back. It's a throwback. And that's what could be happening. So we definitely could go down to that 61 area, $61.98, $62 range. I'll be looking at that area as a potential buy area if things are looking good. But my alarms here to the upside, again, for you, just so you see that, so I'll know when to be alerted, is at 76.21. Then on the downside, it's at 67.11. Because remember, with this doji, this fight back and forth, anything could happen. We could break out of here, or we could break down, guys. You have to be very patient in these type of things and wait to see which way it breaks to. All right. Next thing we're going to go to is the Fibonacci. We're going to take it from our low to our high, swing low to swing high. You guys, just rough one there. You can see we're sitting directly on the 0.382 right there at that $70, which is trying to be defended as well. right at this area. So we're going to have to see if we get a bounce off that, and that is an area a lot of times you will get a bounce off the 0.382 or the 0.5 or the 0.618. These are common areas, this whole hot box right here, especially where you have this 100-day moving average as well. So this is an area that a lot of people could be looking at right there. But we definitely could, go down to that 0.5, no doubt about it, because that even coincides with this green line that I had as support there. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if we went back to that 6110. All right. Next one I want to go to, guys, is the RSI, and we're going to start looking to see if we can see any divergences, anything happening. And I'll get this green line out of there where we were looking for support, and I'll get this trend line off. I like a clear chart for you so you can see what's going on. Guys, the RSI is that relative strength index. It's going to show you how basically strong the moves are. And right now you can see we're just falling down right here, guys. And you can even throw a little trend line on this right there. Just do a rough one here. We'll see if we break out of that or not, or if we get rejected right there. But a lot of times on the RSI, if you do get a break out of there, and that would probably coincide with this trend line we had up here, you can really make a powerful move out of there if it comes on volume. That's what I look for, is trend line breaks on the RSI. That's something I'm really into. And guys, the RSI is at 42 right now, so we are a little bit lower. I mean, we've been cruising up in these areas right here for the longest time, around that 60, I'd say anywhere from 50 up to around that 70. We've been cruising, and we broke down through that. So now we're going to have to see if this is where the bulls are going to step in at this $70 with the RSI around 42, and we start making a move up, or if we're going to start heading back down a little bit. But remember, in these moves, when you have these falls, you always have this reaction. So right here could be this fall. Here's the bottom part of it. We have a reaction up into this area, even around this 30 EMA or a little higher, and then sometimes you can even fall down again. So be aware of that. Just like how you have a stair step right here, it's the same, or it's the opposite on the way down here. This is higher highs and higher lows. This is lower highs and lower lows, and that's what we are experiencing right now with this correction. And guys, this is a correction. This is not a change in trend yet. A change in trend would be once we break down through this yellow trend line there. If we were to do that, that's when you'd start going, okay, the trend could really be changing here. But we are still in an intermediate term bullish uptrend. We still are right now. All right, next one I want to look at is a MACD. All right, so the MACD, we're completely opened up here. We had this bearish cross, which was a good indicator. Here we even tried to hook back again. It didn't happen. We fell open, and now, guys, we're just in that bearish territory. We're going to have to pay attention, see if we do get that swoop at some point, but right now we are not having it. Okay, you can see we're even losing a little bit of ground now. It's even a better form doji. For my dojis that I read in the Japanese candlestick charting book, guys, I'm pretty precise, a stickler about Japanese candlesticks and whatnot, and this is pretty close to about a perfect doji here, maybe up a little bit higher. And sometimes you don't even want that little block. Ideally, you want the same exact price to close up and down, but it doesn't happen that much. So guys, even if there's a little block in here, they'll still call it a doji. All right, so even something like this with the block down a little bit lower, people would call it doji. So just keep your eye on that type of up here. You can see that another little doji here. All right, those are the things that I like to keep in my mind, but this is just showing that fight back and forth. And with these tweezer bottoms on the bottom here, if they were to form like that, that'd almost be little tweezer bottoms if we started to move to the upside there. But that is the bulls defending around this $70 range and that 50 moving average. We wicked down through it a few times. So, we're just getting a lot of signals right now, a lot of different signals, a lot of fight. Guys, overall, in terms of Litecoin, this has been a beautiful move. For the longest time, we were tracking this, inverse head and shoulders right here. And look, guys, we came down, and then this has just been an explosion. This really has been something special. You have to think about this. And this, in terms of percentage-wise, look how big of a gain this has been so far. So we're due for this correction that's taken place. I mean, guys, we're up 355% from back in here. So, this has really been a nice move. It's really dug us out of this. And I'm excited about Litecoin in terms of the overall health of it, the halving, everything going on. As long as I don't see this lower trend line, this yellow trend line break, I'm very excited about Litecoin and what it's doing. Could it go lower down in these areas? Absolutely, guys. And that's why, for me personally, I have buy orders. I ladder buy orders down, and I have some right in this area, definitely around this $62 range. There's some orders there. And then I also have a few more down around this 200-day moving average and around this trend line and stuff. but you can always take them in and out, and that's the thing. Don't go off me. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just one. I look at the charts, and if something changes overnight, then I can pull them out, or you can put them back in, or you can change where you have them, and it's no big deal. But that's what I like to do. So if you go to bed, you know, maybe you can catch one of these wicks. If all of a sudden we have a huge fall down here and it gets bought back up, you know, down to this 100 moving average, and you had some buys there, you can do really well. So that's part of it too, placing it on areas that you think you may have that retracement back to. So, you know, that's what I like to look at least. And then the next one, guys, I wanted to do the Bollinger Bands with you. Let's see here. And tell me what you guys have been doing. Are you slowly accumulating like for the long term or whatnot right now? Are you trading? Are you sitting in cash? Which I believe sitting in cash is a nice place to be as well, guys. You know, with everything going on, and I was hearing about the Bitfinex FUD or whatever is going on about the Tether situation. So, you know, in this market, anything can happen. Your chart can be looking one way, and then all of a sudden, you know, it can change very fast due to news. So just be aware of that. Okay, Bollinger Bands, we're down towards, you know, the bottom part of this band, so that is a good thing, and that's basically right around my alarm there. So we'll see if we do get a little bounce from this area, guys. It's going to be interesting to see which way it does break. Volume still receding, just so you see that there. See if there's anything else. Oh, I also want to show you the stock RSI. And this shows us that we do have a little room to run to the upside if we do want to go in that direction. So you see how low we are here? It looks like we're trying to get that little cross there, but there's plenty of room to run to the upside. On the stock RSI, we're actually very oversold, and each time when we're down this area, we typically get a bounce. So that's what I'm saying. You know, this is just a tough area here around that, yeah, let's see, around that $70 all the way up to about that $74, $75. It's a very tough, tight range that we're in right now. Let me see if there's anything else I want to show you here, guys. Other than that, you know, I guess like I said about this doji here, I just would want to see some more volume. You know, actually, after we had this fall, we consolidated for a while, and then we had big volume come in right here. Even this, we had a little harami or harami pattern right there with some decent volume. So I just like to see this volume get up a little bit more today to feel a little more confident. Remember, with dojis, you always have to wait for that confirmation. You don't want to just see a doji and say, hey, you know, I'm jumping in right now. You want to wait for confirmation. Otherwise, you're a gambler, guys. You really want to put the odds in your favor, and that's what it is about trading. Cut your losses short, let your winners run, and let's go. Let's do this, guys. So have a wonderful Friday. I hope you're having a great day. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like what we do here, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm proud of each and every one of you who's really trying hard, studying, learning, and also take a look at my playlist. I have quite a few tutorials in there, and guys, it's all out of the Encyclopedia Chart Patterns. It's out of the Japanese Candlestick Charting book, Candlesticks by Tina Logan. There's just all different types of books that I've been reading, I've been studying, and I want to share them with as many people as I can. So trying to get it out there, guys. Love and respect each and every one of you. Take care.